You have a bunch of like salty ass Overwatch players constantly on Twitter talking about, the coping because of what's happened with their game and that there's something better now. But talking about, people playing this knockoff, all they did was rip off these Overwatch designs and stuff like that. And like, yes, obviously, no one's gonna sit here and deny with a straight face that some of these design choices were taken from Overwatch characters. Of course, they wanted people to have familiar archetypes, and I'm watching, by the way. They wanted people to have familiar archetypes they could hop into. There's nothing wrong with that. But people also act like there isn't shit like, Mr. Fantastic. You know what I mean? That there isn't shit like Moon Knight and Penny. You know what I mean? Like they act like, oh, like this is just all derivative. Like this game doesn't have some of the coolest, most unique designs we've ever seen. Like they're literally sitting there like capping and fooling themselves, And even the characters that are like quote unquote designed after some of the Overwatch characters, like they still feel fresh. They still feel like their own identity. People say like, oh, Star-Lord is Tracer. It's like, yes, but Tracer's also not flying around. You know what I mean? Their ults are two completely different archetypes. And his flips aren't exactly blinks, and there's no recall either. Like that does change a lot. Their functionality is the same, yes, but like Star-Lord still has his own identity. No one in Overwatch feels like Star-Lord. Penny looks like Diva. Well, I can't really speak much on her bodysuit, but I know as far as the mech design, that's just how it fucking looks. I know that. I think this Penny might be like a unique Marvel Rivals specific design. So like in that case, it's like, yeah, they were definitely thinking like, oh, let's give someone who will appease people that like Diva aesthetically. Yeah, for sure. But Penny still has her own identity and still plays unlike anything that is in Overwatch. Overwatch doesn't have anything close to Penny. And I'm not even saying this like to say like, oh, Marvel better. I'm just saying these Overwatch players need to stop acting like this game isn't full of fresh, unique ideas, because it definitely is. And for you to say that like, oh, this is just like some Overwatch knockoff shit, is like, you're actually just salty as hell. You're literally just salty. Oh yeah, Penny definitely doesn't have the whole kawaii desu thing. Penny just kind of has more of this kind of just, 2099 kind of sci-fi heroine mech rider type of vibes, which is a little bit more mature, especially with some of her lines that she talks about. You know how she'll, that line she has with Moon Knight where she's like, I try not to think about revenge and stuff, and she talks about how her father died in the suit and she's just trying to finish his work and stuff like that. Like, yeah, Penny's a lot more like mature than Diva. Diva's a lot more like, haha, I'm supposed to be the cutesy girl. And like, of course I know, her lore and stuff like that. I know she has depth and there is some serious lines, but the point of her character is to be the kawaii desu K-pop chick, Penny actually like feels like a character versus an archetype, both in how she plays and her actual character, I get it's annoying to have a new game come out and everyone compares it to your game. I understand that concept wholeheartedly. I get it, Overwatch players, I do. But that doesn't mean that you use that as an excuse to be completely, to be completely, dishonest and disingenuous, being intellectually like dense on purpose. You know what I mean? And, at the end of the day, I generally don't care to even argue that with somebody, because let's say it is just a knockoff and all they did was copy Overwatch. It's a derivative, although, that's what everyone said about, Team Fortress 2 with Overwatch when Overwatch came out, and the Overwatch players were like, no, it's just a game of the same genre. Don't you guys know what a game of the same genre means, idiots? But now they're doing that exact thing TF2 players were doing to them, to Marvel Rivals players. But anyways, putting that out there. What was I saying? Shit. Oh yeah, like let's just fuck the argument. Let's say yeah, okay, yeah, Overwatch knockoff. This is a knockoff that's better. Either way you slice it, guys, you lose. I'm sorry. You guys have been shitting on Blizzard this whole time. The entire Overwatch community in unison, in complete harmony, is on the same page about Overwatch 2. Like, let's cut the crap. You guys know the problems that that game has. You guys know what it's become. So why are you sitting here, you know, like being a hater on a new game that is obviously doing almost everything so much better? Like when it comes to like the gameplay things and the things that matter, things with balance and stuff like that, they're doing all of that better than Overwatch. Like, let's not pretend like they're not. We know the issues with Overwatch. We've all been saying the same thing ever since it came out. Ever since the end of Overwatch 1, when they ruined the balance with goats and stuff. The community has been on the same page about the health and status of that series. Always have been. But then when a new game threatens their insecurity, I guess, then they want to play pretend and act like Overwatch is this godsend game when they've been like shitting on it since day one and shitting on Blizzard since Overwatch 2. And then they're gonna act like they can't look at this game and they can't admit that this is exactly the shit they wanted this whole time. I know this as a fact. I'm sorry, hold on. I'm sorry, Dom, I'm gonna roll it back some. I'm saying this as a fact because I was an Overwatch player. You can't tell me that's not true. I am one of you. The only difference is I don't feel insecure. I don't have to sit here and cap. If something comes out that is doing something better, I'm just gonna hop on that better thing and enjoy my life. You don't have to sit there and be bitter and be like, oh no, I'm not gonna play Overwatch 2. I'm not gonna do what everyone else is doing, playing Rivals. Overwatch 2 protected like your little baby. Like, you don't need to do that. Just enjoy your game. You're saying let people enjoy their game? Let yourself enjoy your game too. You don't need to go online campaigning, crusading for your game. Don't let anyone make you feel insecure about your game. If you still enjoy Overwatch 2, great. Couldn't be me, but that's fine. That's why we're individuals. And we can make decisions for ourselves, and we have different tolerances. Notice I said we have different tolerances. But that's okay. But don't sit here and be a brat. I get it. Like I said before, I get it. It's annoying when people are shitting on your game when a new one comes out. You make all the comparisons all the time. Why can't people just enjoy things? Why can't both games be good? Yes, you're technically correct. Everyone knows that you're being boring. Come on. You know exactly why people are talking this way about Overwatch. You know exactly why they're talking this way about Blizzard and throwing shit this way. And at the end of the day, you cannot say that it isn't deserved, because it is 100% deserved. And you know this. Because the reason why Marvel Rivals is as good as it is and is doing as well as it is, and it's not perfect, and I could talk about some flaws of it later, but the reason why it is as addicting as it's been to people and it hit its peak a month after launch, just now, is because they, for the most part, did the opposite of what Overwatch did. And that's why it's doing better. So this is not even up for debate whether or not this game is doing the thing better. It's not up for debate. Because people, like, sure, there's probably a large percentage of people that are genuinely, they just came into this shit as Marvel Rivals players. Like, this is their first hero shooter. I'm sure there's a grip of that because it's the Marvel IP. It's going to have broader appeal. But y'all need to keep in mind, probably like 70% of these motherfuckers on this game right now are also Overwatch players or ex-Overwatch players. So you need to understand that a lot of the shit being thrown at Overwatch is like, a lot of that shit is coming from actual Overwatch players themselves. So it's not even really so much a different community attacking Overwatch in the first place. I know, you can't bring up Twitch view comparisons in a lot of cases, but when you have proper context surrounding them and supporting evidence, you can. And this is one of those cases. And my stream can attest. Before Marvel Rivals even came out, I said on stream, I was like, I'm going to start making a mental note of Overwatch's viewership now. So when Marvel Rivals comes out, I'm going to know firsthand for sure what kind of viewership Overwatch had. So that way no one can sit here on Twitter and lie to me because I was paying attention the whole time, right? There ain't going to be no, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, dog, I'll get the replay. I have to get this out. There ain't going to be no, what's it called? Brain fart. There ain't going to be no revisionist history with me, motherfucker, okay? Before Marvel Rivals came out, Overwatch 2 would have like 60 all the way up to like 100K-ish. Sometimes it'll be like, 30K on like slower days or like, later nights and stuff like that. But, like bare minimum 30Ks. And then at the top, if there's like an event going on or a big streamer streaming it, it would easily be like 100, 110-ish, something like that type deal, right? That shit has dropped to 5K now. 5K. So you mean to tell me that Marvel Rivals consistently having over 100K people and Overwatch at times being regulated to a 4-digit number, you don't think that some of those Overwatch viewers from before December 2024 are a large portion and even majority of the people that are making up the numbers of the new game that is coming out at 100K plus, which is what Overwatch used to do? Like, hello? Think. That's it for that. I should upload that too.